Hi, this is Rochelle. I started this business just basically out of necessity. I have 3 horses, and I had one show horse that was up in Pennsylvania, one that was at a reining trainer working on lead changes, and I had one at home. And I was also traveling a lot at the time. And it was driving me crazy just managing paperwork and dates and everything else on those 3 horses. And you would think, okay, it's 3 horses, it's not that much. But what I found was I was missing a couple things. And because everything got out of whack, all their shot schedule, their coggins, everything got out of whack. And I found myself missing key important things. And then on top of it, I also had, at that time I'd switched computers, and so when I went to go back and I needed to reference some radiographs from my mare when she got her pre-purchase exam when she was 2, and I couldn't find them because it was on an old computer. So then I had to start searching for those, which if I had them handy, I could have gotten them right to the vet right away. And so there's just things that I just really could do to crispen up how I care for my horses. And then the last thing is I found is that I was also keeping a lot of spreadsheets of different items because I wanted to be able to make sure that I could keep track of it. Because when you end up having a lot of different vet bills and have the dogs and the horses even mixed in, trying to manage about the dates of this shot, that shot, especially when they get all on different schedules, becomes very, very difficult. And so I had a spreadsheet for that. I had a spreadsheet to manage points and put notes around how the horse did and the judges, and so I was doing a lot of this stuff manually. I was like, there's got to be a better way. So that's why I started Equine Simplified. But I'm very passionate about it. I love it. Let me just show you why.
Equine Simplified has so much that it can do, and it can be customized. It's very flexible. So going through a quick tour is hard because there's parts of it that some people will like to use. There's other parts that they won't really apply to them, and that's fine. You can use the pieces that make the most sense to you. It's very flexible from that perspective. So just to give you a very quick tour of what is included. So under a horse, for instance, it's driven by activities, and you can see all the different types of activities, and they're categorized in the name of the activity, and there's information in that. Within any of these, you can specify certain types of notes on here. You can put pricing in here, so that will automatically default from the rate sheet. You can do reminders that are either a one-time reminder or recurring reminders. So there's a lot of flexibility from that perspective. You have basic information in here, and you have different types of status. So if you have some of your own horses plus boarded horses, you can do that. You can have leases in here, and even 50% leases, as well as other information that's here. It keeps all the information and feed charts up to date with many pre-populated foods, but you can always add your own if you have special foods, and very specific notes. What I found was I changed my feeds a lot more than I would have expected. It has all the horse show results, so you can put in all their horse show results as well. You can put very specific information about their location and as well as packages. So this is referred to, if you're a boarding operation, you may want to have different kind of custom packages, and some of those packages are a full service package of which all the services are included, and so you can build out those custom packages in the settings. Under health, you have all kinds of health documents that you might want to put in here. So that might be MRI, allergy information, pre-purchase exams, ultrasounds, radiographs, coggins. I find this extremely helpful to be able to gather old information, especially because if you have a horse for any period of time, you might have had it on another computer that might be embedded in an email. When you start to add multiple horses and start to do this, finding information is tough. So the ability to keep this all in one place is really nice. And the same thing on papers and registration. This isn't just your registration numbers and having your insurance information handy right away with what are their coverages, are they colic surgery candidates, everything else handy, but also about the other things that you might want to keep on your horse and have, which you might today have in different places. So you can keep it all available in one place. Certainly if there's certain types of providers, farriers, everything else that's on here, as well as photos and videos to be able to look at progression of injuries over a period of time, be able to send that to the vet if that's not, if it's not progressing at the rate that you want, being able to monitor progression of training activities or lessons and such over a period of time. So there's a lot of functionality around the photos there. We can also handle all the other animals. And so like the horses, the other animals, there's basic information as well as their activities. And on the activities, you can see all kinds of different activities where this is a kitten and I'm really measuring her weight or his weight, and where he was at the vet, and on 1 month later he was 5.13 pounds, and 1 month later he was 6.81 pounds. So really want to measure the weight as this kitten grows, as well as other activities that we're doing to care for this cat. There's all kinds of reminders and planning activities and such. There's task lists, which are fantastic, and you can select the items as you want to get them done or deselect them there. You have the ability, I put together a supplements reorder list, so I can come in and say, okay, next on my list, I need to go ahead and reminder to order my NexGard, and I do have that. So I have my dogs and the horses, as well as where I'm getting the product from, so I can remember exactly where I'm sourcing it from. And the same thing with horse shows. There's all kinds of custom horse show task lists, packing lists, and such, which you can customize. The horse shows is really cool because you can put together your horse show schedule. And one of the cool features is on the horse show expenses, you can actually split the cost of expenses. So if you have a hotel that's $2,000 and you have 10 horses, you can split the cost. It'll automatically split it. Once you put that in there, it'll automatically split the cost amongst those 10 horses. So it's really cool what you can do there. From a finance perspective, you can do all of your invoices here by just literally clicking generate new invoice, and it'll process the invoices. It will send it to QuickBooks if you're linked to QuickBooks. There's also a ton of reports, so you can see a plethora of reports, of which you can do even further filtering and customization within the reports and be able to download them, send them, email them, however you want to handle that. And lastly, I just want to talk about the customization. There's all kinds of different areas that you can customize. And it's very easy to do. So we've pre-populated with over 10,000 pick list items that are searchable items. But there's certainly things that we'll miss, and there's new products that come out that it'll take us, we might not get it right when it hits the market. And so we will continue to add to these lists, but there may be something that you want to add, and we don't want something that's limiting. So pretty much in most of these categories, you can customize, add what you want, you can delete what you don't want. Either way, you have that flexibility.
So now you've seen the 30,000 foot tour, and I really appreciate your time to look at it. I'd love for you to recommend this. If you know of anybody that's struggling in the same way I was struggling, I'd love for you to recommend it. That would be fantastic. Oh, dogs are coming. Releasing of the hounds. By the way, it also handles the dogs too. Anyway. Got tongue-tied on that one. But I'd love for you to be able to check it out. There is a 15-day free trial, so please check it out, play with it. There's also a ton of tutorials on YouTube and more information there, or just reach out to me directly. I'd love to answer questions about it and talk more about what it can do. Thanks a lot. Cheers.